We are all the way to the letter H, unless of course this is where you started. Then welcome to Calligraphy Corner. I bet most of you are doing this in alphabetical order. Let's look at the letter H. Starts out like so many of the other letters with a little S curve here at the top. Goes up to the top line, comes back, goes up to the top line, stop, pick up your pen. The next stroke is a vertical, come about to 1/3 of the way to the base and stop there. Now, the letter F was the first letter, if you're doing this in order, that we had this unique stroke. Starting even with this, we're going to do a rather steep S curve, and I'm looking at the shape that is left in here, and I'm calling it a shallow smile. Then back up to the top, I do the second stroke, and it comes down and meets with that first one. Do you see that? There are about 7 letters, I think I counted, where this structure happens. Now, the top of the H is a little bit different than any other letter. It has a fairly long, what shall I call it, flag on the top. Longer. Some of our other letters, an I and a J, are going to be short up there. The H is long. And then the next stroke, starting here about in the middle of the capital height, is an angle, and then a reverse curve going this way, and then vertical straight down all the way to the baseline. And here's another aspect of the letter H that is unique. It has a descender. There are just a few letters, the letter Q, the letter Y, and the letter H have a descender. This one is very simple. It's a little upside down apostrophe shape, just like that. Got it? You may ask why. The answer is because we're just trying to make all these letters look Gothic-ish. And in my opinion, that little hook there and the length of this and the curve there, all these things are just to make them look consistent with the other letters and to make them look what I call Gothic-ish. If you've been online, and I'm sure you have, you just Google the word, Gothic calligraphy, and the sky's the limit. There are so many different variations. Let me do it again without so much talking. S curve, lift up your pen, vertical, 1/3 down, hook, S curve, stop there, back to the top, vertical, down, 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 till it meets that curve. And then a long flag on the top of the H, long compared to all the other letters. Midway, up and down, midway, do a stroke like this, then a curve going in the opposite direction. Straight down, all the way to the baseline, and then a simple little hook or upside down apostrophe going that way. Holding my pen in the number 1 position, perfectly vertical, and putting a diamond on the end of it. Got it? And then we have our 2 hooks, and we are ready to go to a pen. Here's my guidelines for a Speedball C1 width. My capitals here are approximately 8 nib widths tall. S curve, and I say approximate. It's not critical. That's not a law. That's just a guideline. Stopping, hook about 1/3 up from the bottom, then an S curve down here. Very much paralleling the S curve at the top. Did you notice that? Back to the top and straight down all the way till it meets very neatly with that S curve at the bottom. Then a bit of a long hook or flag here at the top and a little bit of a hangnail at the end of that. Midway, reverse curve, vertical, all the way to the baseline, and then this little hook at the bottom. Got it? And then a vertical, holding my pen in the number 1 position, with a diamond at the bottom of it, and my 2 little hooks there, and I'm all done. That looks like an H. Let me go ahead and move to lowercase, shall I? This is my guide sheet for the lowercase using our double pencil. And of course, the lowercase h has an ascender on it. That is, it goes above the header line. So I'm going to start at about 2.5 nib widths above the ascender line and go straight down all the way or almost all the way to the baseline, where I can then add a nice little triangle at the bottom of it. Let's go ahead and finish this up at the top while we're up there. A straight line with just a little bit of a curve hook at the top. Now, I start this next stroke below the header so that I can come up and intersect the header right there. Do you see? Then down at the traditional angle, and vertical, and again, a diamond. And I think I'll make this diamond just a little bit more elongated than this one. Does that make sense? And put a little bit more of a toe on it right there. I think you'll see that when we do that in ink. Let me go ahead and move to ink, doing the lowercase h. Here are my guidelines down here. If my X height is 5 nibs tall, then my ascender is about 2.5 nibs tall. So I can just eyeball that pretty well. Starts right about there, comes down, vertical, and a diamond shape. Got it? Up to the header. You'll notice that many times I pick up my pen in between strokes. If you will pick up your pen, then you will get a sharper corner at every intersection. Let me do that again. It's a little bit sloppy, but more than that, I want to put what I call those little hangnails, almost like micro serifs on my lowercase letters. Got it? Vertical, triangle. Do you see that little hook there? That was there already, and a little tiny one there. Back up here, now I'm going to overextend that line just a little bit so that I get that little tiny, almost serif. Angle stroke, come back so I have a little bit there, there, and a long diamond with a hook on it here. That's a pretty good Gothic H. I hope you're having fun. Let's keep going.